Hey, you healthcare humans! What's happening? I'm Jack, and this is CT the Head, my pre-med audio journal. I feel much better today than I did last time I recorded, with a cold and a sore throat. My voice was not prepared, but today I will share some strategies for something you can prepare for, your upcoming classes. You don't have to jump in on day one and scramble to get it together. Save yourself a headache by taking the time to lay some groundwork so you can start the term off right like the good student you are. This is 5 tips for class prep. But first, I have a public service announcement, and fair warning, some of you are going to be disappointed with me. As of November 5th, 2019, I've decided to step away from pre-med coursework temporarily. CT the Head will not die as a result of this decision, and believe me, it wasn't an easy one to make. I tend to be type A, and I'm disappointed that I even had to press pause. I'm sure there will be some people out there who will think, oh, you quit because you can't handle the coursework. No, dude, I have an 8-month-old, and she had a rough start. By the way, I plan on releasing a couple episodes about our whirlwind first months as parents in early to mid 2020, so this will make more sense. Anyway, school is on hold because right now the priorities are work, trying to adjust as a family, and get settled financially. With school, I was struggling to allocate the time to dedicate to class, and I would rather wait until I'm in a better place to succeed academically rather than power through and finish with subpar grades. So, all that being said, this podcast will continue, and when I return to school, you lovely people will be the first to know. Okay, got that out of the way. Now for the 5 tips for class prep. Given that I just told you I left my classes, rather than putting my credibility on a gurney, let me remind you that I've been a student for a while. 5 years of undergrad, a year of pre-med, an internship, and published research. I think I've generally been successful at it. I've experimented with different ways to prep and stay organized. And these tips are what I've found that work for me. You can implement these verbatim, modify them, or not use them at all. It's your call. Number 1, purchase your books early. It's summer. You're outside enjoying the sun, running, biking, meeting friends on the town, or gaming online. You're carefree. Or maybe it's not summer at all. Maybe it's winter break, and you're enjoying the time with your family, the cozy holiday cheer, and pumpkin spice lattes, or peppermint schnapps hot chocolate. If you're 21, of course, drink responsibly. CT the Head does not condone behavior that would actually lead you to getting a CT scan. Whatever your situation, on the horizon is school. You've enrolled in your classes for the next term, so you know what they are. Maybe who the professor is, and you'll save for figuring out where the class meets for the day of. You're used to jumping in and figuring things out right then and there at the last minute. But that's not the most efficient use of time. So number 1 on this list is to find and purchase your books early. When you enroll in courses, if there isn't already information provided telling you what books to purchase, you can go to the university bookstore's website and search the class. For example, say you search Math 130. You type in Math 130, and the result might be a list showing several Math 130 courses taught by different instructors and the respective book or material they intend to use for that term. If you want to purchase your materials from the bookstore online or in-store, cool. But you will not be able to resell the book back for anything near the price you purchased it. Honestly, the university bookstore system is a scam. According to an Atlantic article published January 2018 by Laura McKenna, quote, along with the traditional textbooks, many college classes now require students to purchase access codes, which cost $100 on average, to online platforms created by publishers such as McGraw-Hill and Pearson. Homework and quizzes are hidden on the platforms behind paywalls that expire after the semester, meaning students can't resell them once they're done with the course, end quote. Some of you might be familiar with the books that cost upwards of $100 wrapped in thin plastic that, when open, have no resale value to the bookstore at all. Scam. If all you need is a textbook, It's worth the time to look online for used books, rentals, loose leaf, etc. Especially if you jump on this task early, you have the time to find a good deal. One thing to be cautious about that recently happened to me, the bookstore showed the correct book I needed to purchase for a class when I looked at the title at the beginning of the summer. So I bought the book and I started reading, and about a week before class started, the professor emailed all of us students to welcome everybody and mentioned she changed the book. That had never happened to me before, so keep in mind. Number 2, read slightly ahead. During your break, you may not have a syllabus to tell you exactly which chapters to read, but if you've purchased your books early, there's reading you can do to get a little ahead. The purpose is not yet to drill information into your head for a test, but get a clear bird's eye view of the concepts. First, read the intro chapter completely. When doing so, note what concepts will be the most challenging for you. Write some questions. When I was in high school, my history teacher assigned us what we called interactive notes. The point is to interact with the reading by writing comments and questions in the margins. Pay attention to broad concepts central to the material. For example, in biology, the central dogma, the process by which cells use DNA to synthesize RNA and then proteins, is an overarching concept key in biology. In organic chemistry, it is important to understand and be fluent in the nomenclature for naming molecules like 2-ethylcyclohexane. You can ask your professor for some guidance on what is important in the upcoming term. There is nothing wrong with emailing your future professor to introduce yourself and ask them if they could provide or guide you to a current or past syllabus if you haven't found one on their website. Definitely do your due diligence and try to find a syllabus of theirs first before asking them for one. It doesn't take that long to write an email. However, if you believe for whatever reason this isn't a good use of time, that's fine too. Of course, most professors will be slow or not respond at all to emails during break, but I've found that generally this is worth the effort. Next, look at the table of contents and pick a few chapters to scan. Do some kind of interactive noting to mark important concepts, charts, formulas, etc. Bookmark these notes so that you can easily turn to those pages later in the semester. Lastly, please don't read too much of your textbook during the break. You're on vacation, man, so be sure to relax. Number 3, stock up on supplies. This is something I often overlook, so maybe everyone else is just smarter than me, but I've been in a situation where I have to buy paper, pen, pencil, notebooks, and lab notebooks the day or week of the first class. Now, what I would do if you want to be super prepared is to buy your materials for the next semester at the end of the current one. Make sure to reuse what you can. Binders and spiral-bound notebooks can be reused. Any notes that you have in a spiral-bound notebook, you can tear out. Save the notes that you think will be most important that might come up again on the MCAT, and definitely reuse what paper that you can in the notebook. For lab notebooks, you may want to buy several of those colored composition notebooks. Since as a science student, you will be in many labs and will need a new notebook each time. So instead of going to the store each time you have a new lab to get a new notebook, if you know you're going to be in a couple labs, just purchase a bunch of them at one time. You'll save yourself a lot of time doing that. Invest in a good calculator. I have both a TI-84 Plus, which is a graphing calculator, and to be honest, it was pretty pricey when I bought it in 2012. Also, some professors won't let you use graphing calculators during tests. So I also have a Casio FX300 ES Plus. If you don't know what that is or means, that's totally fine. It's not a graphing calculator, but it makes me sound like a nerd when I say it. Invest in a printer. I know paper and ink are a pain in the glutes, but when you need a printer and don't have one, it is the worst. If you live on campus or close to the library, it's an easy trip to a printer, but still consider getting one of your own. If you don't have easy access to a printer, I would just get one. Before I got mine, I had been in situations where I needed to print like one page, and I had to use the public library's printers, which their machines need coins. So not only do you need to print something, but now you got to find change. And if you don't send yourself the correct document or face some sort of human or technical error, you have to return home. Yeah, you can carry around a thumb drive, but you can see how this something as simple as printing gets complicated logistically, especially if you don't have a car. And there are printers that are affordable, and you will save yourself hours of study time. Cuatro, get a planner. Since my senior year of high school, I've used some kind of planner. I don't just use it for school. It's like a journal of tasks and events in my life. I swear by the August to August calendars. And by no means do they pay me money to say that. I mean, this podcast doesn't even have 50 regular listeners, so it's not worth their time. Why do I like these calendars so much? There is a lot of space dedicated per day with lines to organize your notes. They're clean, they're uncluttered, they're just simple, and I've gotten used to them. You can search August to August calendars on Google and see exactly what I mean. And you can choose a color for the outside cover. Whatever planner you decide to use, keep it close and use it religiously. Treat it like Tom Riddle's diary. I honestly prefer writing my tasks and schedule in a planner than keeping that stuff on my phone. Using your phone might work better for you, and that's okay, but there's something about physically writing your obligations on paper that really makes it stick. And it's satisfying to cross things off as they're completed. And number 5, let the syllabus guide you. The syllabus is an outline of the class. It tells you what's coming and when. Once you've obtained a syllabus for each of your classes, absolutely read through it because it's like a contract. Please don't go to your professor later in the term complaining about something you didn't know about your grade, only to have the prof point at the sentence in the syllabus addressing your misunderstanding. Once you've read through it, either fold the packet so that the calendar section is in the front or tear those pages away. Highlight the test dates and slip that page or packet into the clear pocket on the front cover of your binder for that class. For example, the calculus class calendar should be the front page of your calculus binder. The biology class calendar should be the front page of your biology binder. If you're somebody who likes to use one binder and each of your classes separated by dividers, you can still use this strategy. Just keep the calendar, maybe tape it to the divider or make it the page that is immediately behind the divider. Add the test dates to your planner and or wall calendar so you know exactly how many days or hours you have until test day. This is useful because you keep a roadmap of the class front and center, and you will see the syllabus calendar every time you use those binders. So it's just constant reinforcement of what's to come. To review, number 1, get your books early. 2, read a little ahead. 3, get your supplies early. 4, get a planner and use it. 5, utilize the syllabus. Use these strategies, modify them to what works best for you, and your school life will be a little easier because you will be more organized. Okay, that's all I got for you. It's done. It's over. That's your 5 things. What even comes after the number 5? I know it does. Thanksgiving, my favorite holiday. Whatever you're having for dinner, whoever you're spending the holiday with, and wherever you're spending it, I hope you have a great holiday and make good memories. Don't slice your thumb open while cutting onions like I manage to do every year. Now, assuming I still have thumbs after the 28th, the next episode will be our first book review of How Doctors Think by Dr. Jerome Groopman, MD. Have a good turkey party if you eat turkey!